Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. I'm here with Tom, and Tom is a newbie comic book collector. So when I talked to Heather last week, she mentioned that her boyfriend is just getting into comics and collecting comics. So I was like, that would be fun to talk about. So without further ado, here is Tom, everybody. How's it going, Tom?
Hey, I'm Tom. Good to meet you, John.
All right, first question I got to ask you is how old are you?
I am 35 years old.
Okay, 35 years old, and you're just getting into comics, or have you always been into comics?
No, just getting into it. I've never been into it before.
So what sparked your interest all out of the blue to start buying comics?
Well, I met Heather, and then
It's all her fault.
there she is. Yeah,
So
but also,
when you can't afford vacations, just want you to know it's your fault.
yeah, exactly. No, yeah. I've been mostly into Conan, so I always loved the movie. So that kind of I've always wanted to read those comics.
So what you read like Conan novels, or you always had Conan comics?
The movie, the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, that Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's my first exposure to Conan. I remember my oldest brother was all into the Frazetta paintings and stuff. So when that movie came out, I was like the littlest kid, swords and boobies and stuff like that. I was scarred for life in a good way. Yeah. But I never read Conan comics because for me, comics was superheroes.
Yeah.
And if I wanted barbarians, movies did it better than comics. If I wanted war, I could watch war movies that were better than comics.
I guess that's what I thought too.
Superheroes. Even superheroes that were on TV were lame. So for me, superheroes were the best in comics. Science fiction had Star Wars. Barbarians had movies. So you know what I mean? It's like comic books to me, what specifically for superheroes. Now, what do you think about that?
Well, yeah, that makes sense actually, because I never liked superheroes, so I never got into comics.
Okay.
And maybe that's why I never got into them.
All right.
I'll have to give them a chance.
So what? So you met Heather over here and what, her talking about comics and
just... Oh, no. We met at our little local bar down the street.
Yeah, but I mean, just meeting like I'm married to my wife for 20 years. She's not interested in comics. So what is it that all of a sudden just you got this bug?
Oh, well, yes. I mean, I think it was the Conan thing.
Heather's making her own comic, so I guess
I mean, she just dragged me to the comic store, and I was like, "Well, I have to get something."
Okay, what do you collect?
Mostly Conan, and then there's some Elric. I like Elric, and then what else am I collecting?
Invisibles.
Oh yeah, recently I bought Invisibles, the first 11 issues of that.
Okay, the great.
Starting to read that.
Yeah. So are you getting? Because I don't know. Are they? I know there's new Conans. Are you buying the new Conans? Or are you buying back issues?
I have been buying the new Conans. We have a store that sells new stuff, so I've been buying those.
But there's nothing new Elric, is there?
No, Titan did release some, like a few, and I bought some of those. But...
Yeah, those because I'm a big Elric fan. I read those novels when I was I guess junior high school.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I want to read the novels.
The novels are so good. The first 6 novels, I think it's Valentine, I think is the publisher, with those wonderful painted. Those are some great fantasy. And Michael Moorcock said that he is the anti-Conan. He's purposely as different from Conan as he could possibly get. He's
I see that.
Yeah, thinly and weak, and he's reliant on his potions and his sword and magic.
Yeah.
And he starts out as a king and loses it, whereas Conan, the first story he's a king, but it's late in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I love the Elric part is really cool.
So you're a fantasy guy?
Yeah. I like the sword and sorcery kind of stuff as far as comics goes and all that stuff.
And what about like Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I watched the movies growing up. I need to read the books someday, but
you didn't read the books, okay?
No,
I was hoping we could talk for an hour about
no, I'm
Aragorn. I as much as I'm into comics, I'm a Tolkien nerd.
That's another thing I need to get into. I'm like a very noob. I'm like almost normie level as far as all this stuff goes.
And then you go, meet Heather, and you're ruined. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. I'm more into King Arthur these days.
Oh, whenever anybody mentions anything King Arthur, I show this.
Oh,
a replica Excalibur from the 1980s John Borman film. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So I just would like people to know that I am the rightful king of England. I should stop the Islamic invasion, but that
I
takes
bought that Excalibur movie and we watched it, and it was great.
Yeah, I love that movie. It's cheesy
so
in a great way. It's like a bad movie, but it's an awesomely bad movie. It's like watching an opera.
Yeah.
Overacting and people shouting.
I love it.
Yeah, me too. So, like, I gotta ask, like, how long now have you been collecting comics?
I guess, yeah, like a year and a half, 2 years now.
And now, what do you do? Do you bag and board them? Do you alphabetize them? Like, are you the
yeah, I do bag and board them, and I got some short boxes. I have like a short box and a half full of comics, and then a magazine box like 3/4 of the way full.
Do you have a big stack of stuff you haven't read yet?
Oh yeah, I've only read like 5%. I just buy them, and I'm like, I'll read it one day.
Yeah, I was doing good. I was reading all my comics every week, and I remember I was in Albuquerque. I moved to Albuquerque in '93 for college, so I'm in college now, and I'm every comic. By the end of the week, I was rereading comics because I ran out of comics through. And I remember my girlfriend at the time. She goes, "So how big is your to read stack?" And I'm like, "I don't have a to read stack." And she says to me, "Are you sure you're a comic collector?" And she owned a comic book store, and she literally was every time she would come over, she would drop off a stack of comics. Like I joked around, and, I don't have any Power Man Iron Fist comics, and she was like, "Okay." And next time she came over, boom, a complete run of Power Man Iron Fist. And due to her, I now have a to read stack. So I mean, I'm married for 20 years. So 25 years later, I have 18 long boxes of comics that I haven't read yet.
Nice.
So but at one point, here's my comic collection. I just gotta. So
wow.
Are you up to there yet?
No way. That is a lot of comics.
Yeah. In the 90s, not the 90s, in the early 2000s, when I moved back to New York, I'm done with college. I have no bills. I was single. I no kids and everything. So I had a lot of disposable income, and I was just going around buying collections from people. There was a lot of people like getting divorced, just lost interest. So I would just buy collection. So like,
that's a good idea.
Yeah. I ended up getting a lot of good comics. I bought one collection from somebody, and it was like, I'm not even joking, like near mint, everything in chronological order. The way they sorted it, they put it in chronological of like everything Marvel from like 1964 to 1975. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh man, I got that for almost a steal. Well, hi, Lloyd Zart. Yes, you're the first. How you doing? And for those of you watching or confused, this will probably be my last midnight thing. I'm off that crazy shift, so I think things should be back to normal and whatever. And this is Tom, a newbie comic book collector. So just to let people know what's going on. So you don't collect any superheroes still?
No, I think I have a couple Batmans, but that was something my uncle bought for me when I was born. There's like memory safe boxes, and I opened it recently.
Okay. All
so
right.
I read those. Those were good. I think I should get into Batman now.
Yeah, Batman's a lot of fun. Now, I was like, so do you go into a local comic store every week, or or do you peruse the back issues or the new stuff?
Well, we go to, there's one place that has pretty much all back issues, and then there's another place that does all new stuff. So.
Oh, really? So there's two comic stores near you. One of them is all back issues. They don't even have new issues.
Pretty much, they do have like a shelf of new issues, but it's so 90% of the store is just all back issues, and you just flip through them.
Too.
Yeah,
pulp novels too.
Oh, and pulp novels. Yeah, they got some old pulp novels.
there's a 1, 2, 3 comic stores, in my local area, and one of them is they just got racks of all the new stuff, but it's really disheartening because they have a big sign: buy 5 comics, get 5 free.
That's
So
pretty cool.
basically, yeah, I mean it's a good deal, but like they shouldn't have to have that on all the new comics. And I go and I like I give a cursory glance, and then like the few things that I'm interested for new stuff, they don't have it, and I'm like, oh man, and it's just an old guy, he makes me look like young, and he's just sitting there and he's like, yeah, I want out. It's not like it used to be. It's like a chore to go in there, but 2 other stores are just back issues, and they do the cardinal sin of back issues. You pick up the comics, you bring it to him, then he looks it up in the Overstreet guide, gives you a price, and then you're just like, I don't want it. You just wasted all my time, But then the other store, everything's labeled, everything marked, and they have, when I say everything, I'm talking Fantastic Four #1, Amazing Fantasy #1, 15 rather, everything, and it's just too. I don't go there because it's just too tempting. I mean, like you could go there with $2,000 in your pocket and easily spend it because they got like it. I don't know where they find these comics, but they're in really good condition and everything, and they know where everything is. That it is amazing, and it's the dirtiest, cramped, typical comic book store ever. And the one that sells all the new stuff, it's clean and it's well lit and everything, and I don't like going there. So
yeah, there's this one comic book store I went to, and it had like a back room that was probably like 15 feet by 15 feet, and they would stuff all the back issues back there.
Was it open to the public?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was just kind of unorganized in boxes, and they're all cheap. And I actually had a lot of fun. I would just flip through stuff and find anything that sounded interesting, and that's how I discovered Elric.
Okay.
So I love the art on that.
Do you have that Elric comic? I'm just curious.
I think I do. I grabbed one of them.
Because there's Elric comics from the 80s with P. Craig Russell and Michael T. Gilbert and Roy Thomas that are just. It was so good. And then there's another. I think Walt Simonson did. So I'm curious which one you have. Like, do you have favorite artists yet and favorite writers yet, or just?
Oh, I haven't got that deep into it.
Okay.
I guess like I like all the Conan guys, like what's John Buscema and stuff.
Oh yeah. Well,
I love these. What is it? Here we go.
Oh, okay.
The first ones.
Yeah, those are P. Craig Russell and Michael T. Gilbert.
Yeah, I just love the art on them, like colorful art.
Yeah,
that's how I got into it.
Early 80s.
Yeah, this stuff's great.
Yeah. Those. Yeah, what was that? Eclipse Comics. Yeah, I
first comics.
Eclipse. I said those are first printing. But is it Eclipse Comics? Oh, it's First Comics. It's First
Comics. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was originally Pacific Comics.
Okay.
Then they went under, and then it was Eclipse Comics, and then they went to First Comics. So I think
keep an eye for those.
Yeah, I think that's the 3rd or the 4th novel. Weird of the White Wolf. Is that the title?
That one was I think I read this one. This was Bane of the
Sailor
of the Seas of Fate. Okay. But I do have Bane of the Black Sword too. I think it's the same publisher.
Yeah, because believe it or not, Marvel Comics came out with the first Elric comic. And it was,
oh, really?
Yeah, it was Marvel, and it was P. Craig Russell, and Michael T. Gilbert wasn't on it. And it was I got the big hardcover edition, Roy Thomas, and they adapted the first book, and it was shocking.
Yeah, Roy Thomas. Yeah.
They had nudity and people getting stabbed and everything because it's the Moorcock novel, and I was hooked. And then I went to then it went to PC, and the hardcover novel was just one chapter of the original. The graphic novel, I'm like losing my train of thought. The hardcover Marvel comic was just like 1/3 of the original novel, and then they went to PC, and the PC comics did the rest of the novel, and because they didn't want to just copy it. And then that's your series just continues. I think it was 6 issues a book, and then later on they went to 4 issues a book. Holy crap! Is he Vigo from the Ghostbusters too? I don't know. Is that Sabar? Hey Ben, you're up late. Holy, how you doing? Good to see you. So it looks like you're into the fantasy stuff, Conan stuff. So now I got to ask.
Oh yeah.
Are you a Dungeons and Dragons guy or anything? You said you were a normie.
Yeah. Oh, I'm like, as far as that stuff goes, yeah. I've played a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons. I have a buddy who's into it, so he's organized some little meetups. But we always get sidetracked and just mess around,
What did you play in Dungeons and Dragons?
I think the first time I was like the sneaky person.
Okay,
What do they call it?
The thief.
Rogue.
Yeah, rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, rogue thief. Yeah. And then and then I was then I got into Conan, so I was like, all right, I'm a barbarian this time. That was the last one I did.
Okay. High Lord's Art. Did you see Elric comic from Titans? High Lord's Art, is that new? Because Titan now is putting out the new Conan comics, right? They're doing.
I have a couple of those.
New Conan is peak right now. Yeah,
Oh, it is nice.
Issue number 1, but I have like 2 to 2. I think I have 2 to 5, so I got to pick up number 1 and then I can read it. Because okay, let me ask you now. I'm a crazy comic book person, and I developed crazy comic book habits. I have to read, like, I can't read Conan because I missed number 1. So are you that bad yet? Like, will you just pick up a comic and read it, even though it's the 3rd issue of the series? Like, do you need to get from the beginning?
I was at first, but now I'm just like collecting because I was like, I need to read them in order.
Okay, that's good.
But,
then you'll actually get through them faster. Because I'll miss an issue and then forget about it, and I put it in a stack.
no, lately I've been that way, and I should just read them. I shouldn't worry about going through them sequentially.
And you bag and board them. You said you put them in short boxes. How do you organize them?
I really don't. I mean, I guess just how they're not alphabetical or anything. I mean, I keep the series together, but
like in chronological, like issue 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, front is 1.
But I'm just making up titles here. But you'll put Elric, and then Conan, and then the Fantastic Four. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't go in any order. But then like.
That hurts
I keep buying Conan issues, and then I'll have to move my other issues to another box.
It's driving me. I got to come over and sit down. I got to sort your comics. I got to organize this.
Oh, it's horrible.
You put backing boards and everything?
Yeah, I do the backing boards, and I've been like wasting my money on the Mylar bags. I don't know if that's necessary. But...
I buy this is a magazine size, but I get the regular. This is.
I'm gonna switch to that. Yeah,
it's the Mylar ones are too expensive, but
they're so expensive. It's ridiculous.
But I'll tell you, I've had comics. I just put them away yesterday, but I had X-Men comics in bagged and boarded, in a long box, standing up straight, and I use this. I use the clear tape, not the yellowish tape, because the yellowish tape over time it secretes a glue. And then it causes the bag to break down, So I use that tape, and I'll tell you, I'm not even a joke. I've had comics that have been bagged and boarded, unopened for 30 years, and they're crisp. They don't. So I don't see the difference of the Mylar. Like I think.
Okay.
Maybe if you got like a $10,000 comic book, you know what I mean? And
I don't think that's necessary.
Some comics I bought on eBay and they came in Mylar, but the thing is, they don't fit. In the so I'll put them on the side, and then I forget that they're like that. I can't find my Daredevil number 1 because it's in an oversized Mylar bag, and I forgot because where's Daredevil? But it's funny. You'll develop habits. Before my wife, I dated this girl Lisa, and she would knit. So she would sit in the living room and knit, and I'm in the living room sorting comics, and she would just watch me, and I'd bag and board, but then I would pick up the stacks. And I would press them against my chest to get all the air out of the bags before putting them in the box. And she was just like, look at you hug your comic books, but you don't hug me. I'm just getting the air out of you. You want me to get the air out of you so you can that dress, and then that didn't go over too well.
Hey, that's some good advice, though.
Do you watch the Marvel movies or the DC movies?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're really not into superheroes at all?
Yeah, that's why I probably never got into comics.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Wow.
really watch any movies. But, I mean, we do. We go back. We buy old '80s action movies and
Prince Valiant.
Prince Valiant. Yeah, anything King Arthur related I've been into lately. But.
Yeah. I was always kind of like anal retentive, I'll say. As a kid, I would go to the school library and I would get this big Thomas Mallory's La Morte d'Arthur, an English translation.
I bought that recently. Yeah.
It was like this thick, and
Yeah.
And in the library, school library, every Wednesday we had to return it. And every Wednesday I would return it and then just take it out again. Like I had it all the time, to the point with the librarian, I would just hand her the card, she would stamp it, you know what I mean? And I would take index cards and I'd write down the names of the knights and everything like that and organize it. I was always like an organizer, like
nice.
I would read Greek mythology and write down the myths on index cards and try to put them in chronological order. Oh, how could this happen first? Because in this story, Hermes is a little kid, and Hermes did this. But in this story, Hermes was already an adult, but he died before this story. You know what I mean? And then I realized that Greek mythology didn't really care about continuity. But I tried my best. Are you? My point is, are you that anal retentive?
Yet? No, not at all.
Not at all. You don't even.
Yeah, I'm pretty chill when I'm reading.
Yeah.
And I forget a lot of things too.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, especially with the book I'm reading, Parsifal. It's one of the Percival or whatever.
Yeah, he's the one that got the Grail.
Yeah, he's one of the Grail Knights. But in that book, they just bring up so many names. Like there's just constantly throwing characters at you, and I'm just like, what?
You'll
remember any of this.
You'll love reading Tolkien then.
I have the books. I need to read those.
Yeah, they made the old and the new one for Elric. I think Moorcock said it was one he liked the most. I think it started with Ben as an Michael Moorcock. I think Elric was his most popular creation, and then the Eternal Champion. Do you know all about Elric? In Michael Moorcock's universe, there's a multiverse. So Elric, in this universe, he's Elric. In this universe, he's Corum. In this universe, he's Erxos. And then he encouraged other writers to. So Mobius had Jerry Cornelius, and Count Brass, and all of these characters. They're the same character, and I forget which book it is, but they all merge, and he becomes like a Hindu god, with like slivers of different faces, 19 arms, and they fight some big fat cats back. That's Heather. Don't insult Heather. She was nice. She was just on my channel. You're talking about the cats. How many cats do you have?
Oh, she's got 2 over here.
Oh yeah, I see one. Yep. On the pro says evening. So I'm trying to think of other questions to ask you.
Yeah.
Now, when you buy back issues, it's just this looks good.
Like pretty much, especially at first, I was just like picking up whatever.
And you said you got the Invisibles.
Yeah, well, my cousin recommended me that, and he's not a comic book guy, but so
that's finally really different than all the fantasy that you've been buying.
Yeah, he recommended that, and then I just went ahead and bought I found 11 issues on eBay the other day, so I finally read the first issue last night.
Yeah. The Invisibles is, I that's Grant Morrison, and I'm trying to remember the artist. I can't remember the artist name, but that's Vertigo Comics.
Oh yeah.
That was the early '90s. And it was like the beginning of Grant Morrison being a rock star. And it is like, subversive. They're like basically like an Antifa cells, just like,
it's like that. For sure.
They magic and everything. And I gotta say, because there's 3 volumes, so I think there's 1 to 24, and then there's 1 to 12, and then 12 to 1. The last series is the numbering is backwards. So
okay.
And I gotta say, I reread it 3 times, and I still have no idea what's going on.
That's what Heather was telling me.
Yeah, it,
So,
but that's Grant Morrison for you. Here you
cool.
go. Question. So, what comic genres are catching your eye at the moment?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I guess
Just Conan fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy.
Now, when Heather goes with you to the store, Heather, do you pick up your own comics?
We went to Dick Tracy for a
Heather,
little
do you
bit.
pick up your own comics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you at that point where you mix your comic collections together? I mean, that was a big deal when, I was dating a girl and we mixed our record collection together. Maybe
Oh no, yeah. We
breaking
keep
up.
them separate.
Yeah.
We keep our comic collection separate.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure we'll mix them together one day.
Yeah.
But she doesn't bag and board hers, and I'm like, that's a sin. Why
You
would you not?
Heather, you're a barbarian. Just walking around,
You're a barbarian.
walking around with naked comic books. What's wrong with you? What's wrong?
Well, it makes sense. I guess it's easier just to pull them out and read them, but
It's just that they're too expensive to not take care of.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm on
And,
that.
like I don't need my comics to be in near mint condition, but when especially like a back issues of old Avengers or something like that, and you paid $9 for it and shipping on eBay, like you want it to be in good condition. Plus, it's just cool to, they stand up better in the box. They're easy to see.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're not flopping all over the place.
Right. Yeah, and they do they will get like a moldy smell after a while. I
didn't realize that.
Yeah, but not if you bag and board them, and keep them out of direct sunlight. They'll be fine for. Like I said, my collection. I've been collecting comics since 1974, and only
nice.
I when I first moved away to college, we had this like crawl space in the basement, and I stored all my comics there. And I realized it was probably the worst place in the world to store the comics. It was just like a damp, humid room. And I when I came back 7 years later, I pulled them all out, and they were fine. They were absolutely fine. But a couple of the comics, there was like little holes in the bags and board.
Oh no!
I've never seen it before. They disintegrated. Like they turned into. It looked like a bag of cocaine, So I lifted up the bag and board, and it was just mush on the bottom. And one of them was like Todd McFarlane Spider-Man 300. So I had to replace it. But all the rest of them were fine. So like all of these people, like you gotta put them in and they were in cardboard long boxes, bagged and boarded, taped closed. And I always do this. I always put the tape on the top because I always have a fear that if like water gets up, you know what I mean? Like I don't bag and board them down here because then I figure if water gets up, they'll go down here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So,
I mean,
you want the flap. Yeah.
If there's
like
3 feet of water, they're going to be underwater anyway. But like if there's a little bit of water, most floods are only a couple of inches. They'll be fine. But like I keep thinking like of replacing my bags of boards with these plastic long boxes. But I got like 170 boxes. That's like a couple of grand. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, unless
Oh, have you seen the Pathfinder run from Dynamite or the Dragonlance comics? That's good. You said you're into fantasy.
No, I gotta check those out.
Yeah, DC Comics had a really good run of Dungeons and Dragons comics in the late 80s, early 90s. They were just called AD&D, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and then one of them was Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and then one of them was Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Dragonlance. And
okay, I think I've heard of the Pathfinder before, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a Pathfinder run from Dynamite that are they still coming out? Because the IDW Dungeons and Dragons comics, I got them. I really like them, but and then I have a habit of I'll buy comics, put them on the side, and I don't read them for like a year. So I ended up getting like a stack of the new, and they were just the most woke, unreadable, preachy, progressive comics.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh my God. So I stopped. But the Pathfinder comics, it's they have a bunch of girl wizard kick-ass people, but that don't bother me as long as they're basically superheroes. Did you see the new Superman movie?
No.
No. You don't like superheroes.
Not really into superheroes, but no, I did not see it.
And you're still too new yet that you don't have a favorite writer or favorite artist or anything
Yeah,
yet?
I think I'm too new for that. Although, I mean, I've been collecting a bunch of Savage Sword issues from like the 70s and 80s.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so
So I like John Buscema. I'll throw that name out there.
yeah, there you go. Well,
Yeah, I forget if he's an artist or I think he's
yeah,
an artist.
he was the Marvel guy when I started collecting Marvel.
Okay.
So, when I started collecting Marvel, Jack Kirby. Again, if you don't know these, I'm not trying to be whatever, condescending.
No, you're good, man.
But
I know
Jack
Kirby
made up all. They did the Avengers, they did the Fantastic Four, they did the X-Men, they even did the first Daredevil, and then Kirby and Stan Lee had a falling out, and Kirby went to DC and he did the New Gods with Darkseid and all that stuff, and then that was the rise of John Buscema. Now that was when I started collecting comics. So when I was a kid, I liked those old comics, but they were old comics. That was old art, and John Buscema was the new hotness. So I love, and then Buscema kind of faded, and it was like John Byrne and George Perez later. Are these names anything to you or no?
I know Jack Kirby, John Buscema.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
There's also Kurt Busiek. He did some Dark Horse. I like some
Kurt
of his stuff.
Busiek is a writer. He's one of my favorite comic book writers, and he doesn't do it anymore. But he killed this comic but whatever. There was a comic book Astro City, and it started out. I think it was DC, and then it went to Image, but it was Astro City, and it was about a city, and every issue had a different superhero. Sometimes it was a 2-issue arc, sometimes a standalone, and that's how I modeled my comic. There's a city called Science City, and every issue was going to feature a different superhero. But when you're doing it monthly, you could do that. But when you're doing it crowdfunded, people want continuity. So I stayed with my character, the Patriarch. But anyway, long story short, Kurt Busiek is one of my favorite comic book writers. He did a phenomenal run on the Thunderbolts. He did a phenomenal run on the Avengers. If his name is on a comic, it's going to be good. But he's just an insufferable asshole. I start in around 2005. I had a forum, my own forum for my role playing games, and it was a way for me and my friends to post our story ideas and then talk. We just fought the dragon in Dungeons & Dragons, and then we go home, and for a week or two, everybody's like, yeah, this is my plans, this is what I want to do, yeah, and then we go to play again. He joined that forum, and we're talking about comic books. So I'm interacting with Kurt Busiek, and then 20 years later, I'm blocked on Twitter because politics just caused everybody to go crazy. And so then I got a Blue Sky account just so I could ask him to come on this channel. And he blocks me again, and I didn't say anything, but I slightly disagreed with him. You know what I mean?
Funny.
It's just unbelievable for a freaking grown man.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
If you like Sal Buscema, then you will love the John Buscema. Yeah, he likes it. Yeah, John Buscema did Conan, and he has a brother, Sal Buscema.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm the John Buscema fan since I like
John Buscema better, and I know that's blasphemous to say, but I like Sal Buscema, but I love John Buscema.
What did Sal do?
Sal did everything. From what I heard, Sal was more of okay, it's a job, and Sal, to me, his art is a little looser, and so he's quicker. And I met John Romita Sr., and he said that that Sal Buscema would bust his chops all the time because he said he would walk by and John Romita would be erasing, and he's like, got no time to erase. You got no time to erase. He goes, you drew it, use it. You drew it, use it. And you could see some drawings of Sal Buscema where you're like, yeah, you could have made that better. But Sal was very quick, and he was legendary for being the first comic book artist to make over $100,000 a year in like I think it was like either the late '60s or the early, which is a lot of money.
Yeah, it's like
Back
$500,000 or something.
yeah, that so and it was just like and it was like give me work, and like
Nice.
sadly, like in interviews, he'd be like, yeah, it's just comic books, it's not nothing important. Whereas John Buscema, I think he took the art form more seriously, and
I love his art.
but John Buscema loved like more like he liked westerns, he liked war, and he liked barbarians, and he dipped out of superheroes for a long time, and I'm trying to remember what in the '80s he came back and I think he did an X-Men run, and the X-Men sold 10 times more than Savage Sword of Conan, and like he would get like a page rate for Savage Sword, a good page rate, but with the X-Men he got a page rate and then he got the royalties because they sold above this threshold, and he just was like give me more of these superheroes, like so he came back to superheroes. Money talks, but, I forget when he died. We got a bunch of people watching in the chat. Is Sal Buscema still alive? Because I know John Buscema passed, but I don't know if Sal is still alive. And if he is, I think he's close to 90 or so. Anyway, I feel like I don't mean to lecture you, but I love talking about comics. Obviously,
no, I'm learning a lot right now.
Like, are you into? Well, you said you don't really watch movies, but like any
kind of.
And you said you're a normie, so is that like, are you a sports guy? Do you watch sports or?
No, I don't even watch sports.
Okay, so
I want kind of the NFL a little bit, I guess, with my friends, but I can't tell you anything about it.
I learned to fake sports.
Oh yeah, I do. I am into the UFC actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I do like watching the fighting stuff.
Out of all the sports, that to me would be the most interesting. Just what
Oh yeah, just watching dudes beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah, that's I tried to get into. Are you into wrestling at all?
I guess in MMA in that respect, but
yeah, MMA.
Not like college wrestling or anything.
I was thinking of like professional wrestling too. Like
all
my friends were into professional wrestling, and I just couldn't get into it.
No, I could never get into it.
A lot of my viewers watch. I'm not saying it's bad. I just couldn't get into it.
But, I mean, even when I was like 5 years old, I couldn't get into it.
Right. But MMA, I could get into it. It's like
cool.
real, it's violent. It's still kind of raw.
It's pretty raw.
Oh, High Lords, are you be up for horror or sci-fi comics?
Yeah, I'd be up for that. I mean, what are some good ones?
Yeah, horror comics. Well, you like Savage Sword, so like this is one of the best horror series of all time. Eerie and Creepy by Warren magazines. Look at these covers.
Oh, nice. Eerie.
Yeah,
but they're the magazines. I love magazines. So.
Yeah, these are magazine size. So they're little like.
That's my favorite. I like the magazine size.
Here's a regular comic, and then
I'll look out for some of this.
These are old. The Warren magazine stopped publishing like in '74, but
the older the better.
Yeah, they are the masters, undisputed best masters of art storytelling. They're mostly written by Archie Goodwin before he went to Marvel. Just classic. But if I were you, I'd buy an omnibus. You get collections of the old Warren magazines.
Warren magazines.
Warren magazines. The Creepy, I think, was first, and then Eerie. And then they did 4 issues, Blazing Combat, which was amazing, but nobody wanted to work on it because it was during the height of the Vietnam War, So like they were like, I don't want to do war, war. But what about sci-fi? Any sci-fi you're interested in?
I mean, I do love the Alien movies. I've seen some of those, and Prometheus is my favorite Alien movie. It's been a while since I've seen it.
I just did last Friday. Me and my buddy Tonic Bowl, we talked about the first Alien movie. It was the first time I watched it since I was
that's great.
Movie theater. Oh my god, it was so good.
Oh yeah.
Like it was as if I've never seen it before because I what was I 10? You know, so 47 years ago, something like that. I watched it in the movie, and I probably sat there like this, like a little kid scared. Oh
Yeah.
my god! Like I
It was
forgot.
tense.
Yeah, I forgot that the spaceship was the same spaceship from Prometheus. You know, the derelict ship.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I was like, oh my god, like because that odd shape, you can't forget that odd shape, and it was so good, so intense. The sets were great. Oh man, yeah.
Need to get those again. We're gonna watch that sometime.
To the point, me and Tonic Bowl were talking about like maybe doing like a horror in space anthology, like inspired by aliens. You know, no, you know, we're not going to rip off aliens, but we have our own ideas. And it was funny because we were like, this is clearly inspired by aliens, and then you know we had such similar ideas that we realized it would fit perfectly within his setting that he created. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll write a story in your setting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Some like a comic book you're looking to write?
Yeah. I've
Oh,
already.
that's awesome.
I got my second issue of my comic out. You know, and you know,
Oh,
Heather,
yeah.
Heather's got her third issue just about to come out.
She was telling me that right before we got on stream. I'm gonna have to read them after this.
Yeah. So you know,
His comic. Heck yeah.
I was giving Heather a shout out for her comic.
Oh yeah.
I can't even. It's too late for me. I shouldn't even be up this late. Yeah, I'm sorry. Am I keeping you up late?
Oh no, you're good. I actually just had my last day of work on Friday. I got a week off.
Oh really? What do you do if you don't mind me asking?
I'm a licensed aircraft mechanic. I just quit a warehouse job and I'm onto that now. So.
Oh, my niece is an airplane mechanic. She used to work for Spirit, and I forget who she is now. I think Southwest. And her husband is also an airplane mechanic. But it's funny because they met and then got the job. So it's not like they met on the job. They, you know, what are the odds of two airplane mechanics meeting and then
we just like working on planes? I guess that's match made in heaven.
I'm an electrician, so I'm a tool guy too. You know.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like working on stuff.
Could go with the old Creepshow comics or H.P. Lovecraft comics. Yeah. So are you a reader of? You said you like to read King Arthur. What else do you like? Do you read like the pulps, like this, like the Shadow or Doc Savage or anything like that?
No, I'm not a big reader.
That's funny that you're not a big reader, but you got into comics and King Arthur.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Courtney's here.
I need to start reading more. Hi.
Oh, you a video game guy?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I knew that to be something. Yeah, a video game guy.
I do like video games.
What do you play? What video games are yours?
I've been doing the boomer shooters lately on Steam.
The what?
Oh, boomer shooters.
I have no idea what that's the name of a game.
It's like Quake, Doom replicas.
Oh, Doom. I had the guy who created Doom on my channel today at noon.
Really?
Yeah, he created Doom.
That's awesome.
I think Doom 2 was the last video game that I played because they're just too good, and I know I'll get nothing done. I'll come home from work and I'll play video games, and then you know they are too good. Queen of the Damn comic could be a go if you like Anne Rice. I didn't know there was comics, I didn't know there was Anne Rice comics. I read all the Anne Rice books. They were really good until they weren't, you know. And I read all the side characters of all the vampires and everything, but I didn't know there was comics based on it. I got to check it out. If you, because you know Heather, your girlfriend's making her own comic. If you were to make a comic, what would you want? Like, you know, just
oh man,
a fantastic idea of you know.
Yeah, what would I do? I think something like King Arthur related, like medieval chivalric knight kind of stuff.
Okay, like literally Arthur, or would you or your own?
Yeah, maybe I just add to the lore.
Cool. I almost gave a spoiler, but I have like a story involving King Arthur that I'd like to put in my comics, and I love King Arthur. Oh, I just realized I never gave Heather's comic time. Heather has a comic called Next Evolution, number 3.
Yeah, Next Evolution.
Oh, is it on Kickstarter or Indiegogo? I forget.
Indiegogo, right?
Fund My Comic.
Fund My Comic. Good.
Oh, Fund My Comic. Yeah, she changed
Fund My
it.
Comic. Get
Was
Next
it
Evolution. Fund
It
My
was
Comic.
Indiegogo, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Fund My Comic.
I really, really like it. I missed issue 2, so I got to get 2 and 3.
I can read the link to him.
Yeah. You can resend the link to you if we need to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of more newbie questions. Like I always like organizing them and.
But I want to go back to the King Arthur thing. I just love what is it? It's just like I don't know, what do I love about King Arthur?
The old school chivalry.
Yeah, the old school chivalry. Yeah.
What I liked about the King Arthur novels was like you said, it was they were held to a higher standard. They were good guys. They were basically superheroes before superheroes.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And like they're just knights running around. They're like willing to like kill people or whatever. Sorry.
Yeah, but they weren't bullies. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
they held to a code. You know, and like chivalry. I like the whole like they went up to the woman and she gave them a chiff, and that was just like nowadays we go to Tinder and we swipe left and pick up some random chick and have like an encounter in the bathroom. But these guys were like giving their lives just to hold this woman's handkerchief. Like
exactly.
It was like a romantic.
They respected women so much back then.
It was like, nowadays, like the cashier at McDonald's calls you sir because here you go, sir. It's like you had to go kill a dragon to be called sir back then.
No, it's crazy.
Hi, Lord Dark. Are you into Dresden Files or the Dresden File comics?
Me? No, I've never heard of that.
Dresden Files are it's a series of novels by Tim Butcher. I tried to get him on my channel, but he said no. I think 23 books or so far or something like that, or 20 books, but they're easy reads. But it's a wizard detective in modern day Chicago. And it's really, really good. I really, really like it. I was hoping Heather would read it because every girl I know that read them stopped reading them, and they all say the same thing, that there was like something icky about the women. And every guy who reads it is like, I don't know what they're talking about. So I wanted to get Heather's perspective into it. The comics were pretty good. B says, "Are you into anime?"
No, I'm not into anime. Although I did buy the whole like set of what's it called? What's that movie? Evangelion.
Oh, Evangelion.
Yeah, we're gonna watch that together at some point.
It's funny that you said that. I was watching some on YouTube because I saw Evangelion years ago. I had somebody made VHS tapes of all Evangelion and Guyver, and I forget the other one. And I love it. So whenever people talk about anime, I always forget that I watched Evangelion, Guyver, and
we're gonna get into that. Yeah, I've seen, and she showed me a bunch of the Studio Ghibli stuff, and that's all been pretty much great. I love that.
Yeah, I went to go see my first introduction to Studio Ghibli. I saw Spirited Away in the movie theater. Like I actually saw the commercials on TV, and I was like, nice. Oh man! And then I went and started watching all of the the older ones and the newer ones. Yeah. Horror Bro says hello, good to see you. I can't stand being called ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
It's like, do I act like that? Okay, yeah, I get called pops at work now. When you're in construction, if you ain't pops, if you ain't kid, you're pops. So so are you more of a collector or a reader, or is it just art itself that got you into it? So
oh yeah, I guess I'm probably more of a collector.
Yeah,
I wish I was more of a reader. I'm like, my intention is to read, but I just end up collecting.
Right. Well, I'm slowing down on buying comics because it's just getting ridiculous how big I'm like this
Oh
stack
yeah.
over here is just what's here. And then I got 18 boxes in the back room. I keep a stack here that's as big as I can before it starts to teeter. And I have
Yeah.
two stacks, and then I have
Three high.
magazines over here. So and I'm so crazy. This stack is all back issues, so old stuff. This stack is all new stuff and crowdfunded stuff. Like, so it's all new. And then like I can't read something new if I still have like 5 issues of something old. Like I can't reward myself with the new title. I still got 5 issues of this old. So like sometimes I'll get myself like I don't want to read any more of this, and then it backfires because then I just don't read, But
Yeah.
So are you into manga at all? Do you like all my nieces and nephews that are saying that are all into, she's an airplane. They all read manga, but they don't read American comics.
Really? Yeah. No, I've read like maybe one, like or two, way in a long time ago, but I'm not into manga.
See, that's why I wanted to talk to you, and I forgot to even ask you until he asked about anime, because people now that are just getting into comics are getting into manga.
That's what it seems like. Yeah. I feel like I know more people into manga than comics.
Do you have friends now that are like into
Oh,
comics?
just like like a coworker here and there, but
And what do they read?
oh, I don't even know. I just know they're into anime and stuff.
Right? Yeah. It's because nowadays, like anybody my age and older that I work with, they used to read comics. I'm the only person who still actively reads comics, but people younger than me, when they find out I'm into comics, they're like, "Oh, do you read One Punch Man? Do you in it?" They all talk about anime. It's very rare. So that's why I was like, a guy who just started collecting comics, American comics.
It seems like the Japanese stuff is way more popular right now than the Western stuff.
Yeah, you know why? Because they got passion. If you ask me,
I believe it. Yeah.
Because for a couple of reasons. This is my theory, and I'm sure people in the chat, we got a bunch of people watching right now, so don't get nervous.
Oh,
we got a bunch of people watch, but my theory is that what are they called? Mangakatas, the people that create the comics.
Okay.
They have a strict competition. So like they start out in these like I think they're called shonens. I'm sure I'm going to get all the terms wrong. But they start out, in these big anthologies, and then the big ones get their own things, and they got to produce. They got to produce, and the one it's like as few as people. I think the least amount of people that work on a comic, the more pure it is. You know what I mean? I can't draw, so it's always going to be at least 2 people. But like a guy who or a woman who draws her own comic, and then you got somebody else that letters or whatever. Maybe somebody helps with the backgrounds and everything. But like one mind transferred onto paper, one long story, and it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. That's an easy sell because they're passionate about it. It's their creation. Nobody tells them what to do. And now we have Marvel, and it's 70 years of Spider-Man, and now we got people writing Spider-Man. They didn't grow up on Spider-Man. It's a stepping stone to Hollywood, or they really want to sell their novel, and then worse, they come to Spider-Man and they need to change the character because it's fundamentally toxic masculinity. They change the character. So I think, and then you got to reference 600 other older comics. So the manga, manga's an easier sell, I think.
It makes sense. Yeah, I think I just can't get into manga. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not that kind of guy, but I also can't get into the superhero stuff. So,
right. Well, you like what you like, so
yeah.
To me, the biggest barrier to entry is the art. I don't like that. It seems like it's all drawn by the same guy to me, and I know I'm going to catch hell for saying that, but
I don't like it either.
Yeah. Do I have roach balls? What is that?
What is that?
Is that a personal attack there, Courtney? What did I have?
Roach balls.
It's a comic. I don't have roach
balls. I thought like cockroach.
I read Archie comics. Archie is perfect for what it is. It's like you said, it's what you started on. Archie used
Oh,
to be,
nice.
I'm an old fart. I don't know how old Courtney is, but when I was a kid, Archie was everywhere. Like you at the supermarket, your mom's paying for the milk and bread and the cold cuts, and there was Archie comics right there. And then she had 35 cents change. She gave it to me, and I bought an Archie comic. And that it was like the gateway drug at the supermarket. I remember they had a spinner rack at the shoe store, so we'd go and get sneakers. And I remember my mom bought me a Flash comic, DC Flash, like 1973. And I spent 20 years trying to find that comic. I finally found it. That was legit my first comic I ever read. And it was while there were 7 kids, so I had to sit still. So my mom bought me a comic, and I just sat there riveted. I was an easy kid. Just give me a comic book. I'll sit there for hours. Yeah, Archie. Akira. Yeah, I saw Akira. I saw Akira in the movie theater. But the problem with Akira is the original dub that I saw was terrible. It was just terrible. And I thought that's what. So I was done with anime after. But then it came out on DVD, and I watched it for the first time in like 10 years because I had a VHS of it. And man, it was great. And for those of you watching this, you probably know Vaughn Coleman. Vaughn Coleman and I, a year ago, we went to New York Comic Con. And this is how nerdy. There's a bar, like an anime bar. So you go there, it's a bar for adults, and it's all covered in Pokemon and everything. And they had Akira on, and I had a beer or two, just swept away by the beauty of the animation and Akira. Like, I don't even know if they can still do it anymore. Like, no computers, it was so good. Nothing wrong with toxic masculinity. Absolutely, Courtney. To the point, my comic Heroic Tales, the patriarch, is the embodiment of masculinity, and it ain't toxic. He's a beloved father. He's a devoted husband. He's a protector, a provider. Everything we need masculine, just like we need femininity. There's nothing wrong with either one of them. They're different, but both of them, they enhance each other. Uzumaki Limited Series was pretty good based on a manga. I don't really know manga. I should. As a kid, I'm 47. I used to walk into the drugstore to get my comics. Yes. I have Chuck Dixon on tomorrow at noon. And he said, and at first, that the first death deal of comics was taking them out of the newsstand. Like I remember when comics went to the direct market, and I was so excited because it just opened the floodgates to all these new comics and specialty comics and things like Love and Rockets and Fantagraphic Press, stuff you wouldn't see in a store. But like what we really needed was both. Like the newsstand was to catch the newbies and then funnel them into the direct market. But they just stopped the newsstands, and it was the beginning of the end of comics.
Yeah, that'd be nice to have.
Mad Magazine, oh man, Mad Magazine was just like, if you were an American kid, Mad Magazine just materialized in your house. It was great. I still love it. And one of the most painful things in my life was I had Mad Magazine started as a comic. I had issue number 3, and I sold it while I was in college. I was for $300. I just needed the money so bad back then, and
Wow,
just so mad that I sold that comic.
how much is that worth now?
I'm afraid to even look.
Yeah.
But it's not even how much, because
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just like, because I don't sell comics, and that was one of the few comics I sold. I'm so mad. If you
gotcha.
go for the Dragon Age and Halo comics, or if mangas you think, Berserk, Akira, and I'm not going to get the Akira comic. I saw the movie, but Berserk is very interesting to me. Bandit Band.
Oh, yeah.
Take on the Red Hood Rider not knowing when to keep your mouth shut. Tom, I don't know if you know what Bandit is talking about, but DC was coming out with a comic, The Red Hood, and they hired. What are the odds that DC has like 6 transgender writers? What are the odds?
Of course.
What are the freaking odds? And this person was saying, it was a good thing that Charlie Kirk was killed, and blah 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 blah. Now, freedom of speech. Say whatever you want. I'm pretty much an absolutist when it comes to freedom of speech, but you need to keep into consideration that this writer upset a lot of people, and then this comic got canceled. So I got no problem with that. That's DC reacting. We can't upset the fan base, whatever. But this writer kept on jumping and yelling and screaming. So it ensured that nobody's going to hire this person again, because what this writer did took the food and money out of the artist's mouth, out of the colorist's mouth. You know what I mean? Like yesterday, and I have a guy working with me on our future issue, and we were talking about fighting with people. And I don't want to get into the specifics, but I said, yeah, fight. I said, I tone it down. I don't fight with people that much anymore because Renzo is depending on me, my main artist. You know what I mean? And I don't want people to turn away from my comics because his full-time job is drawing. My full-time job is an electrician. I can fight with people, but he's more impacted if I don't sell my comics. You know what I mean? So it's unless you're this Mancata guy who does it all by yourself, when you say something stupid in public,
you can ruin everything.
Right, you're hurting your artist, you're hurting your inker, you're hurting. There's a whole team. So
Redhead got completely shut down.
Yeah, they can't.
I did hear about that.
I think they recalled issue number one. Vaughn is Cook. Vaughn is cool. Yes, I agree. He also is Cook. Ron Coleman has a comic for Namanova. Highly recommend it. It's a good comic, good guy. Skinny guy who could out eat anybody. He's one of these high metabolism people. I get jealous. If you could have a crew make a King Arthur comic for you, who would be in the crew? So you're the editor in chief, and you're making a King Arthur comic. Do you have like favorite artists, writers, or anything like that to assemble to make your dream King Arthur comic, or is it too new for you?
Oh, I haven't even seen any King Arthur comics.
Well, there isn't, as far as I know.
Okay. I was looking for them.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if it could be it'd be nice if we could get John Buscema back out doing the art for that. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, but I agree with you. John Buscema, King Arthur, he would probably like that.
That would be awesome.
I'm trying to think like Al Williamson or all of these masters that are Gray Morrow. That would be awesome. Wally Wood. Before that, my mom would say Sunday Funnies. Yeah, a lot of people would cut the Sunday Funnies out, and you could go to comic conventions and they put it on cardboard. I know Joe Cole, who made Plastic Man. That was one of his hobbies. Same with Steve Ditko, and he would take all the Sunday cover and his mother would sew them and make these big omnibuses of the Sunday comics.
Yeah.
A CGC copy of Mad Number 3 and 7.0 just sold for $995. Mine wasn't CGC'd, so but still, I don't believe. Do you know what CGC means?
No.
CGC is comic. CG
like
comic
grading.
Yeah, it's when they put them in a plastic slab. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, the hard plastic things with the numbering.
Right. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I think it's you like send it off to or you mail it or whatever,
right?
And they send it back in a thing.
Yeah, I'm philosophically opposed to it. Like
I could see that. I mean, yeah, they're meant to be read.
Right, they're meant to be read. And to me, that's what speculators do. Like to me, people who do that are making it more expensive for me to get my comics.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, and I can understand a baseball card because you could still see both sides of the card and everything like that. But a comic book, like, it's like, oh great, you went and you found some garage sale comics, and then slabbed them
one perfect condition one.
And now you're just gonna sell it, and it's like you're not into comics.
Yeah, I can see that. But at the same time, those guys are kind of preserving the comics. Like,
are they? Because they can't be read.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I feel like those ones will last a lot longer.
They'll
eventually
last forever, but they'll last forever as a piece of plastic. You know what I mean?
Well, you could like break them open eventually and read
right.
it.
Yeah, you could, which I have. Before I had my channel, I broke open a 8.5 Avengers number 4.
Nice.
Read it, I wish I had my channel. People would have been going berserk. if you're trying to say that. Yes, I am trying to say it. Thank you. The only King Arthur comic is King Arthur: The Knights of Justice, coming out later this year. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Remember, it was Camelot 3000, which was the Knights of the Round Table in the
I
future.
have seen that
I
in the future.
yeah,
I don't know about the future.
yeah. It's Camelot 3. So it's the year 3000. The Earth has been invaded by space aliens, and
I've
King
come
Arthur
across those.
and the Knights returned. Glorious art by Brian Bolland. Just
I'll have to pick one of those up.
yeah, it's 12 series, and it's written by Mike W. Barr. And
Okay.
as far as I know, it was the first or second direct market only comic book by DC. So
Right.
it was a little racy for the times. Now it's so tame, but at the time it was a little racy. Modern comics are very political. If you want to avoid a lot of controversy, stick with the period comics. I totally agree.
Yeah.
What's up with Absolute Batman? Is it any good? You said you picked up Batman. Do you read Absolute Batman?
No, I just had a. Oh wait, Heather, Absolute Batman, is that the one with the penis?
No, Batman Damned.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the first issue of Batman Damned. I made the mistake of telling him about it.
Oh yeah. No, I haven't seen Absolute Batman, but
Yeah,
I thought that
Absolute
was
Batman
the one.
is an alternate take on Batman. So he's used.
Okay.
And the
Oh,
bat symbol comes off and he puts it. He makes an axe. I think he's got blonde hair. I might be wrong. He
I
works.
saw
He's poor, so it's not Batman.
I saw an Absolute Joker picture on Twitter the other day, and everyone was shitting on it.
Right. I don't know. I just like I got a couple of the Ultimates comics, but I want. Is it too much to ask for to just have like a good Spider-Man comic? Why do you got? I don't want 14 takes on Spider-Man. And then the thing about all of these alternate takes is they all get canceled anyway. Like they ultimately don't matter. So it's like I don't get the Absolute ones. Absolute Man, he's like an escaped slave from Krypton, and he comes in. It's all about slavery. It's like
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, Absolute Batman. He's this Conan guy with an axe. He's poor and works for this. That's not Batman.
I've been seeing the
selling as Batman because whatever.
I saw the Aztec Batman. Is that a real thing? I've been seeing that making its rounds on Twitter.
Yeah, and they're making the Aztecs the good guys. They actually had a panel. Like, we value our women and children, unlike you Spaniards. It's like, a modicum of research about the Aztecs, you idiots. But if you're white and European, you're a bad guy. Yeah, so
yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, that's how it goes. So, all right, I gotta go to bed. It's one we've been talking for over an hour now. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Anything
it's been a good talk, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Anything you want to say? Anything you want to promote? Well,
oh, no, not necessarily.
What do you mean, no? You got to promote her comic.
Oh yeah, we got Next Evolution number 3 coming up. Number 3, right?
Yep, Next Evolution number 3.
Yeah, let's get Heather Veely's.
Yeah, Heather.
Next Evolution number 3.
It's what I really like. I love the premise. It's based in reality. It's a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
Which drug that causes problems. Really, it's totally sci-fi. It's totally made up. It's never happened before in the real world.
Yeah, it's not real.
Timely topic. And it's pushed. It's pushed to the comic book limits. It's on Fund My Comic now. She
does a great job.
1, 2, and 3. It's a good comic. I really like it. And Heather is
a
very knowledgeable, fun person. Well written comic. I really like it.
Yeah, she's way smarter than me. She does a great job.
So I also have Heroic Tales number 2. You'll see the trailer. That's also on Fund My Comic. It's nearly complete. We had a little setback because of health problems in the art team, and so we'll be a couple of weeks late. My next crowdfund is Patriarch number 1, which is already being started, and I think I'm going to get more complete before I even launch the campaign on that, because I've been critical of all these late books, and now my 2 books, my 2 books will be less than a month late, but which is not really late, but for the sake of, I don't need anybody attacking me. I want to have the book mostly done before I even launch the campaign. So that's everything that's going on for me. Tomorrow at noon or today at noon, I'll have Chuck Dixon. We're gonna, always fun to talk. Chuck Dixon is probably the most prolific or second most prolific comic book writer of all time. This is a guy that I can't believe it. Like, you give him a job and he's done early. Like, he actually refused an exclusive contract with DC because he was finished, and for 6 months he had nothing to do. So he was like, I could have written for other companies for that 6 months and made more money, but DC kept him on contract. But DC thought he was like a normal comic book guy who waits to the last minute, but he was like, I'm done. Give me more work. They're like, we gave you all the work that we allocated to you. So he's like, all right, so I'm going to work for other companies. No, you can't. You're under exclusive contract. So he had to like do sneaky stuff, like write for other companies, but then they couldn't publish it until the contract was up. But you know what I mean? He co-created your favorite villain. Yeah, he created Bane. We already talked about role-playing games. You dabbled into D&D.
Dabbled, yeah.
You're a dabbler. But I'm gonna get going.
John, I can't wait to read your comics.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna do it.
Cool.
She's got the first one. I'll read it.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Let me know what you think. Let me know.
I will.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
It's gonna be so much better. But thanks a lot, man. Good luck.
Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, come back in a couple of months when and like when you got more comics, we'll check your progress. See if you became a little.
Yeah, we should talk again. I had plenty of recommendations, so I'll have to check out some of the stuff.
And keep in touch. Are you on Twitter or anything like that?
I am on Twitter. I stay anonymous though, but if you stay in touch with Heather, she can let me know.
Okay, yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. And at
Thanks,
this,
guys.
we'll say goodbye, kids.